Are you having issues maximizing power on your forehand? Do you struggle with control and putting the ball where you want in the court? In this video, I'm going to show you 4 magic moves on how to optimize your forehand, get more confidence, more power, and control. Magic move number 4 could be the most important. Enjoy. Power. How do we generate this? We're going to talk a little bit about torquing the ball on the forehand. But the power really truly comes from staying relaxed, really loading and setting this right side. So magic move number 1 is going to be setting this right side of the body. My friend Chuck Tomlin talks about setting this right side a lot. Oscar Wagner talks about, tracking that ball as it comes in. If you watch the pros, they don't take this racket back immediately. They're actually tracking with the hands and that racket head out in front. If you look here, the racket head is in front of my hand. We watch someone like Sinner, when he tracks, he's here, and then as he tracks that ball and takes that racket back, everything, when he sets this right side of the body, everything stays on this right side, the hand and the racket head. And that's where he generates that lag. He's not breaking the plane, and then he's able to find that ball out in front. And there's different ways that we can get to this ball. We see many ways when we take this racket back. Magic move number 1, though, is to really track here, because if you can track here, you're going to get that natural lag. You won't break the plane, and then you're able to really find that ball much easier. Magic move number 2 is to make sure you're loading. So when we set this right side and we track and we load, I talk about the 90-10 principle, and every pro is doing this. I particularly like at the higher levels because we're moving so fast. I mean, this game is a game of keep away, and they're not going to be hitting back to you. Your goal, the goal of your opponent is to make you move, get you into a compromising position, and get you uncomfortable and off balance. The key is, so when we get to this ball, we're not always balanced, but I'd like you to make an effort to say, you know what, I'm going to be balanced. I want to get to that ball and I want to load. So when I talk about loading, this 90-10 principle where 90% of our weight is going to be on this right leg. This is for righties hitting forehands. We're going to load on this right side. 10% is here. And when you get into that position, that's your opportunity to get balanced. Because if you're balanced, your eyes aren't moving, they're steady. We're able to find this ball when we load. Sinner gets here in this position here. There's different ways pros set this right side and load. But magic move number 2 is get to that ball, be balanced, load, get in that 90-10 position, and be ready to unwind and find that ball. Magic move number 3 is to square up to that ball and find that ball. Ideally, when we're hitting, we want to be able to find that ball and square up to it. And what I mean by squaring up to that ball is we find it out in front. Sometimes we have a tendency for some players is they get this contact point too far back and they're not able to open up the hips and shoulders. So by thinking that, okay, we need to square up to this ball and find it out in front, we get great leverage. We start using this angular momentum, right? So this is where we start getting that transfer of power we're generating power from the ground up. So we're loading here, and then as we turn and square up, we want to make sure we're doing that out in front and finding that ball out in front of our body. So that's the key. Get in position, square up to that ball and find it. One thing to keep in mind too, it's like a 7-17-70 principle. When we initially are tracking, this racket's probably moving like around 7 miles an hour. These are the numbers I use. As we go to the ball, maybe we'll speed up a little bit. We're at 17 miles an hour. And then from contact and the finish, that's where the true magic happens. And we're probably like, let's say racket head speeds at 70 miles per hour. So think of that 7-17-70 principle. If we're accelerating too fast here, it's harder to find that ball. So between the lag and going a little slower to that ball, we can really generate a lot of power. And in magic move number 4, that's where the magic happens. Okay, if you stuck around to the end of the video, and you're gonna see magic move number 4, and I truly believe this is where the magic happens, and this is what separates the good players from the great players. And you've got to stay aggressive here with your racket head speed. So once we find that ball and we square up to the ball, we've got to go from that ball and lift up and across. And this is where we get that 70 miles an hour. Every pro does this. If you watch it on the tour, they find that ball and then they pull up and across. And that change of direction is where we really start getting feel. we start getting control, we start maximizing power. But not enough people are doing this. I call it torquing the ball. We need to start torquing the ball. So we find it, we get that leverage here, and then pull up and across. That's where this Topspin Pro is so handy, because it really teaches you how to lift up and across the ball. Now here's the deal. The path of the racket will determine the lifting of the ball. If you watch the top pros, because of their racket head speed, they've got quite a bit of linear power coming into the ball. So they've got plenty of power. The way they generate the spin and still control is they go here. And by doing that and really accelerating, they're able to impart tons of topspin and still bring that ball down and into the court. So that's magic move number 4. We got to find that ball, and once we do it, we pull up and across. And it's just a real quick motion, but that change of direction is where you get a ton of power, and you just have to trust and thrust that racket head. So there's magic move number 4. All right, one more drill that we're gonna run through to kind of get this feel and how to torque the ball, and then just changing our court position. So I'm gonna have Johnny start at the baseline. I've got a whole bunch of tennis balls on the rack, and we're just gonna drop feed and we're gonna walk. This is the backwards forwards drill, or forward backwards drill. It was actually on the 53 drills for better tennis that we did with Oscar Wagner, but just a great drill. And what he's gonna have to do is adjust his net clearance, you know, but I want racket head speed. If the ball's below the net, he's gonna have to lift and spin the ball a little more, right, to get that net clearance and bring it in. But here, once again, here's the true art form of hitting this forehand and really torquing it and getting that ball to clear the net and bring it back down into the court. So we're just gonna start from the baseline and just move forward. Do 5 from here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Go back. Yeah. Got to be fearless. Racket head speed is your friend. And we'll do 5 from here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Great drill, right? He's having to change perspective. He's a different part of the court, so he's having to adjust the swing path. But it was amazing. Like, you can hear it when he's hitting these shots. You can hear the racket head speed, the pure power. And by accelerating like that, he is absolutely getting feel, control, confidence, all those good things. So thanks so much for watching the video. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you hit that like button, hit that notification bell to get future videos, and then make sure you subscribe as well. Have a great day.